Welcome to Wolverines All Access, your inside look into Bridgton Academy athletics. Well, it's fall again, and the class of 2013 has been here for just over a month. It's time again for the process to start, and with it the same level of high expectations. In this episode, we sit down with our 3 new head coaches and talk with them about their first month at BA and what they think so far. We'll also take a step back in time and find out why the undefeated football season has proven to be so elusive. And finally, we'll introduce you to our Athletes of the Month, the first for 2013. But first, let's take a look at some highlights from the first month of the season. The class of 2013 arrived on August 25th and immediately went to work. After all the testing was done, the football team took the field under the tutelage of new head coach Chad Walker. When our first 2 opponents canceled their games, we feverishly searched for 2 new opponents. The first one, a club team out of southwestern Connecticut, proved to be a formidable opponent as the Wolverines dropped a close one. They immediately bounced back the following week and trounced Western New England University by the score of 20-0. The Wolverines carried that momentum into the next game against Holy Cross, but ultimately fell short to the Crusaders when a last-second pass went incomplete. Parents' Weekend proved to be an exciting game versus perennial foe Navy Prep. After jumping out to an early lead, the Wolverines let it slip away in the third quarter and ultimately lost 25-20. Though the record stands at 1-3, the team has played outstanding, having not lost a game by more than a touchdown. The Wolverines soccer team came into preseason with high expectations and a new head coach, Adam Perron. The former UMass assistant headed up a group that might have been short on numbers, but long on enthusiasm. They jumped out of the gate and took out Southern Maine Community College, Bates, and Bowdoin heading into their first league game against ISL power Belmont Hill. The Wolverines battled hard but fell just short on a last-minute goal by a score of 1-0. They bounced back and rallied for wins against Thayer Academy, Noble and Greenough, and in front of the Parents' Weekend crowd knocked off Kimball Union Academy by the score of 3-0. Their record stands currently at 6-1, and they are in the hunt for their first NEPSAC playoff berth since 2006. The baseball team entered preseason again with the label of being one of the best prep school programs in New England. The team has not disappointed thus far as they carried an 8-2 record into Parents' Weekend. Unfortunately, Mother Nature did not cooperate with us and we lost 2 games to inclement weather. Despite the end of the month, the Wolverines owned the rest of September. With an excellent combination of pitching and hitting, BA has been able to take an 8-1 record into October. Highlights for the month include sweeping in-state rival Southern Maine Community College and sweeping a doubleheader against New England Club League foe University of Vermont. The baseball team will look to carry this success into the last half of the fall season as they prepare themselves for a title run in the New England Club Baseball Association. Finally, rumors swirled all summer long about how talented the lacrosse team was going to be this fall. With another new head coach, this being John Hunt, longtime coach at the University of New England, taking over at the helm, thoughts went back to the Mike Fuller era of the late 1990s when BA lacrosse was one of the most dominating programs in the country. This group of Wolverines has lived up to the hype as they've been rolling over the competition across the region. At the end of last year, we said goodbye to 3 of our head coaches. After an exhaustive search over the summer, we found 3 fantastic newcomers to carry on the BA legacy. We recently sat down with them to find out what their impression of BA's first month was. Here's what they had to say.
I think it's a great place. I think it's everything I ever imagined it was, plus some, in that we get the opportunity to work with some of the greatest athletes in the country and some of the most focused, motivated young men out there.
I mean, I think BA is all about giving guys that opportunity that they need, both academically, socially, and athletically.
Yeah, I think it's been an unbelievable experience, and it's been even more than I could have ever I've thought about before I got here. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, but my first thought was, just the camaraderie of the guys.
I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, but I guess a realization that we really do have the opportunity to train our student athletes in the sport that they've desired, in my case lacrosse, every day from the day they get here, and we're able to prepare them for college because we can work with them much more than I was able to at a college level.
I think the biggest surprise I've had is how quickly guys become brothers and guys come together for all the right reasons. Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you bring student athletes together from all over the country, you kind of look at our roster this year. I believe we have kids from about 7 different states. Anytime you do that and they come together so quickly as a team, buy into the family concept of what Bridgton Academy is about, and that to me was the biggest surprise.
I think the common goals and how guys share that has been probably one of the best parts and one of the best things that I've seen so far. From an on-field soccer-only perspective, I think the guys have meshed together great. They all come from different backgrounds, obviously, and they're all the best players in their high school team, but none of them came in with egos. They all came in and they were willing to work hard, and they really shared the ball right off the bat, and they started learning from each other's backgrounds, but also really learn how to play along with each other quickly.
I think we're really looking forward to seeing how our guys react to not being at practice every day and what they do through the winter off the field to prepare for the spring. And then the most exciting part is looking forward to the spring, being able to play probably one of the toughest schedules in the country, playing some of the best opponents there are, and putting our kids in a position to prepare for college and what they're going to get at the next level.
Looking to continue to build the program. I think there was a strong foundation when we got here as a staff, and continuing to build it in the right direction. Get guys placed into college. I think working closely with the college coaches over the next several months and our players, I think that's the exciting part of this job, and really trying to see where our guys can go and be successful in the future. And then continuing over into the spring, continuing our winter workouts, some spring practices to really hone in on the fundamental aspects of football and really develop that true student athlete, not only on the field but off the field as well. So when they go into college, they're coming in more prepared than the average incoming freshman.
I think myself and them are all looking forward to hitting the ground running, strength and conditioning. They realize that's a real important part of getting to the next level, and they've seen that college competition this year. They've had some success, but some of those physical games have caused them some issues a little bit, and I think they see the importance of that. So getting a full strength and conditioning, improving their athleticism is huge. I believe also the technical side of things, getting them in to the gym and learning how to play a quicker game and being more comfortable using both feet, technically improving. And then, of course, being able to play more games in the spring against some club teams, a good competition, getting some more colleges there as well. And just seeing the guys' growth and development, getting them off to colleges, seeing where they commit. And I think that's always the most exciting part of the job, is seeing which guys commit where and seeing that excitement. And I think that's what we're all here and why we're coaching, to get them off to college and get them committed to programs. So that's probably going to be the best part of the upcoming season.
In this segment of All Access, we're taking a look back at BA of the past and see how it shapes what we do today. Every year, the football players come in and ask how they stack up against teams of the past. The topic inevitably comes up of being undefeated. They all say, this is the year. Well, it hasn't happened since 1969. In my 13 years here, we've only come close once. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns by Navy Prep left the 2007 team with an 8-1 record. We recently sat down to talk about this phenomenon with former head football coach Tom Austin. Coach Austin was at the helm for one of the last undefeated teams here way back in 1967. This is what he had to say.
My initial Bridgton Academy experience began in 1966 when we were in Edwards House. We were here for 2 years. I was the head football coach and head of admissions. It was a one-man admissions team at that point. So then Faye and I came back in 1974 when Bob Walker became our headmaster, and we were here for 12 years. We began in Edwards House. Then I was head football coach, head lacrosse coach, assistant headmaster, and associate director of admissions. And there were 2 of us that traveled in admissions at that time. And then we left in 1986 to go to Kobe, where I was for 20 years as coaching football, and I was the assistant women's lacrosse coach. And we came back here as a part-time employee, and I work in alumni and development. We had, as you know, the last 4-year graduating class was that spring, 1966. and we had just juniors, seniors, and PGs, pretty well evenly divided. Everybody wore a suit and coat and tie. We had chapel every morning at 8 o'clock where we would sing. A member of the class would deliver a 5-minute poem or reading, and there was one TV in every dorm, a payphone, and lights were out at 10 o'clock. And you were here for 8 weeks. There were no cars, as we do today, where the kids can use them on weekends. And so it was pretty self-contained. And you had to eat all meals. Attendance was taken. As always happens here, you have so many, a collection of kids that were very good athletes in their high school, many captains, all this, all that, all state, all conference, all world. And to come here and put your ego, check your ego at the door and play as a team, they did a wonderful job at that. And then when I left, Coach Harriman took over, and then in his second season here, he was undefeated in the fall of '69. A lot of these guys I recruited. I was at Boston University at the time, and Warren Collins, John Anderson, Harmon Hudson, Aiden Moore, and Richard Lindstrom all were a part of that team that came to BU the next year and played for us. Steve Corbett was probably the most famous. He was went to Boston College and was the #1 draft choice of the Patriots at the end of his college career. And Dennis Scannell went to Villanova and had a great career. I think a couple of things. Back at both those years, we played freshmen. Mm-hmm. So it was, and the kids that we had were equivalent, mm-hmm. Age-wise, maturity-wise, to college freshmen. And we played 7 games, and it was a much more even playing field, I guess, compared to today, where we're playing, because the NCAA changed the rule in, what was it, late 70s, where early 80s, where freshmen could start to play on the varsity. So then all of our schedule since that time has been made up of JV teams, which are freshmen and young sophomores, maybe a junior or two. So the maturity factor went in the favor of our opponents compared to a balanced approach in the 67-69 year. I think a couple of things. Number one, we cross-trained everyone, which means they had an offensive position and a defensive position. So that necessitated having a rather restricted menu, if you will, both in what you did offensively and what you did defensively. And then just again, checking your ego at the door and buying into what can I do as a team member to make us better. That was very, very evident in both '67, and I know in my many conversations with Leon Harriman, the same was true in the fall of '69. That's hard to tell. I think and we see this already with this year's team, and I'm sure it's true in the other sports. As they become settled, begin to take root at Bridgton Academy, know their teammates, begin to visualize and actually play their role and understand it, they become better and better. And like anything else, the more success you have, you just you don't think you can lose. And who knows? And good health plays a big role in that. We were fortunate in both those years, in '67 and the fall of '69, to have the same people playing at the end of the season that started off. And that made it easy.
We'd like to give special thanks to Mr. Austin for sharing his thoughts with us. Now it's time to meet our Athletes of the Month, the first for the class of 2013. We recently handed out our first This is Sparta t-shirts to 2 members of the class. Here's your chance to meet them both.
My name's Ian Cushing, and I'm from Camden, Maine, and I'm the keeper for the guys' soccer team.
Ian has been the backbone of the Wolverines soccer team all fall. His impact has been undeniable as the team has gone 6-1 in September. The team's only loss came by the hands of prep school power Belmont Hill. Otherwise, he's been unstoppable. Ian has posted 5 shutouts and currently carries a .20 goals against average. Ian has helped cement the status of Bridgton Academy as a power in New England prep school soccer.
My name is Brendan Skidmore from Franklin, Massachusetts. I play baseball and shortstop.
Brendan earned his Athlete of the Month award by putting up exceptional numbers for the month of September. In leading the baseball team to an 8-2 record for the month, Brendan hit for an average of .467. In those hits included 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 1 monster home run against Southern Maine Community College. He also led all hitters with 15 RBIs. As a co-captain, his leadership on and off the field has been vital to the team's success. His hard work has paid off as he recently committed to play baseball next year and attend Binghamton University.
Well, that's all we have for this episode. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check us out next time when we take a look at nearly 100 years of Bridgton Academy hockey history. Thanks for watching.